Today was a massive day for Rise of Kingdoms. Not only did we get armament conversion, and we're about to get commander swaps, but we have even more information about commander swaps, and I, for one, am hyped to read through this. There are, of course, a lot of really important conclusions that we'll draw here, so consider subscribing if this is the sort of stuff that you like. Now, let's get right into it. Use the timestamps, jump to whatever you'd like. The commander swap FAQ. Players obviously have a lot of questions because this is one of the best events to ever hit the game, second only to armament conversion, which is ongoing forever. And once people realize how good that is, they will, over time, you'll see armament conversion was one of the best things to happen to the game. But the commander swaps are cool. Let's talk about it. What do I need to swap commanders, and how much does the bundle cost? The answer, you'll need legendary swap tickets to swap the commanders. We already knew this. The greater the difference in skill levels between the two commanders, the more tickets you'll need to swap them. If you're subscribed to my channel, again, you already knew this. For example, swapping an expertise commander with a commander with literally no skills other than 1-1-1-1-1 is the max of 120 tickets. But swapping an expertise commander with a 5-5-5-1, maxing the first 3 skills, costs only 2 tickets? Yes, 2. This is not a typo? Wow. Okay. That's insane. I mean, look, everybody should aspire to swap max commanders. We'll explain more about that in a minute, but that's crazy. Okay. Wow. Sources for legendary swap tickets. I mean, geez, what does this mean? This means that, let's say you want to max Arthur, okay, but you have gems and maybe you don't have tickets because you're low spend or whatever, like, or you could buy a small number of tickets and do a second commander, right? Like you get 120 with gems, right? And then you do a swap and you max that commander, and a second commander you do like 5-5-5-1, you buy a little bundle, do a couple. I just think there's a lot of really cool stuff you could do with this. I'm only realizing it as I read it. Sources for legendary swap tickets. Purchase them with gems. Each ticket costs 100 gems. You can only purchase up to 120 tickets with gems. You can purchase the Fresh Faces bundle. Each bundle costs $5 and contains 12 tickets. So, like, I'm telling you, a second commander for $50 is the best deal they've ever put in the game, hands down. I think it is the actual best bundle that has possibly ever existed in this game. Prove me wrong. Please, in the comments. Is this the literal best bundle that's ever happened? Each bundle only costs $5. That's insane. When will the commander swaps be available? How long will the event last? So the commander swaps will be tested in certain kingdoms starting tomorrow before being launched in all kingdoms on January 10th. At the earliest, it might be later. If your kingdom is more than 3 days from the end of Season 2, it will start 3 days before the end of Season 2. The event will last for 5 days. This is very important. There's a critical mistake here that people are going to make, and we need to talk about this. This is so important. Will I be able to obtain King Arthur during the legendary swap event? Yes. You can get King Arthur by completing quests in the King's Trial event. There are notes here from a goose. King's Trial is the event where you complete quests to unlock King Arthur, and it can be unlocked on the 5th day at the fastest. Oh boy. First Strike is the other event where you can try out the expertise version of Arthur. They're 2 different events. So can I use King Arthur for the swap? Let's say I swap a 5-5-1-1 commander with a 1-1-1-1 King Arthur to get a 5-5-1-1 King Arthur. Next, I want to swap the 5-5-1-1 King Arthur with an expertise commander. What are you doing? Can I get an expertise Arthur this way? Yes, you can use King Arthur for a swap. No, each commander can only be swapped once, as outlined in the 27th of November, face-to-face with the developers. You have 2 swap opportunities. You can swap 2 sets of commanders. Swaps cannot be undone. If you migrate during the event, you can't participate, regardless of if you participated in your original kingdom. So, look, like, don't do weird swap-to-swap-to-swap things. Like, what are we talking about? No, stop. Don't do it. Okay. I don't know what the upside is here, but just stop it. I don't know. Someone let me know in the comments what they're trying to accomplish with this. You're trying to save tickets, maybe? Could you do that? I'm not following, but they're saying you can only swap it sounds like each commander can only be involved in a swap once, whether they are the receiver of the skills, like the one you're trying to build up or the one you're trying to diminish. Does that sound right? Can I reset 5551 Zhuge Liang to 1111, then swap him with an expertise commander? And the answer is no. Commanders with unallocated skill points cannot be swapped. People are getting real smart about how they can break this thing. You can't do it. But this is the biggest thing here. I have an expertise Charles Martel and 600 Martel sculptures, presumably in their bags. If I swap him, will I lose the sculptures? Nope, you keep the sculptures. Ya boy Cheese, who has hoarded commander sculptures for literally years, gets hugely rewarded right here, right now. It's finally happening. If you're a hoarder like me, leave a comment because this is insane. That means I can take Charles Martel, where I got like 1,600 of them in the bag. Do a swap with him to Arthur. Arthur gets maxed. Then I use the Charles Martel sculptures in the bag, remax Charles Martel. I won't even know the difference. GG. I could do it with El Cid. I could do it with any of these gold key commanders, not the gathering ones, though. That is huge if that plays out the way I'm understanding it. Huge, bro. Unbelievably good. I mean, look. I said a while ago that I think the developers should use this as an opportunity to recruit players back to the game. I don't think it's a coincidence that they have a recruit your friends back to the game event coming up, right? Like, they should align all these things to be like, hey, get the new commanders, bro. GG. Now, you have to actually own the new commanders to swap with them, and let's talk about that. This is a huge mistake people are going to make. If I'm currently using the trial version of King Arthur, can I use him for a swap? You can only swap King Arthur if you have actually recruited him yourself. Here are a few important notes. This is a big deal. You can't recruit King Arthur during his trial period, but you can recruit him before the start of the trial period. If you swap King Arthur during the trial period, his levels will be based on your own copy of King Arthur, not the trial version. Okay. So if you're going to do a swap, it will not be based on the trial version. The trial period for King Arthur lasts for 4 days, whereas the Legendary Commander Swap event lasts for 5 days. Even if you start the trial period at the beginning of the Legendary Commander Swap event, you'll be able to recruit and swap King Arthur after his trial period ends. Okay, cool. This, by the way, was edited. I don't know if this bit was in here when I first saw this morning. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. But this is an important distinction because I was really worried that, like, if you trialed King Arthur, you wouldn't be able to, like, maybe swap with him, and then the swap event ends, and then, like, you get wrecked not being able to have swapped to Arthur because you did the trial event. It sounds like that's not an issue, though. So that's huge. That's actually awesome. Good. If I'm in Season 2, or Season 2 Kingdom, how can I obtain Season of Conquest Commanders to swap? Good question. We'll be launching the Gathering of Heroes event alongside the Legendary Commanders Swap event. During the event, you can complete quests and earn points to get Season of Conquest Commanders. Very, very, very poggers. There it is. There it is. So there will theoretically be a way. How good is that way? I don't know, but sounds pretty cool to me, offhand. Question 9. If I don't swap any Legendary Commanders during the event, will I be able to swap commanders later? Nope! Limited opportunity! Regardless of whether you use your swap chances during the event, you can't use them once the event ends. Is the number of Legendary swap tickets required affected by the commander levels and stars? No. What a good question! They only are... Wait. They do not affect the number of Legendary swap tickets required. It's just the skills. It's actually all that matters is the skills. So this question is basically saying, like, can I have used my levels and stars to reduce the ticket cost? No. And there is one more question here. Let me just bump this up. Does the Legendary Commander Swap event include commanders from all generations? Is there a City Hall requirement? And the answer is yes. You can swap Legendary Commanders from any generation as long as you have permanently recruited them. Your City Hall must be level 8 to participate in this event. Honestly, this commander swap stuff is, like, actually one of the best things that has happened to the game. The only thing that's better is actually armament swapping. Genuinely, once you understand the power of armament swapping, you will realize it is unironically one of the best things they have ever done for the game. Because I would say that the armament system had so many situations where like you'd win but lose anyways, right? Like if you already had an armament for that formation and you got a second one that's good, but not good enough, like you won but lost, right? If you got an armament with amazing stats, but you already had one in that slot that, you know, had an inscription, you won but lost, right? Like this list goes on and on and on and on where you win but lose with the armament system. And being able to swap with armaments solves that in a lot of ways, where like even in a worst case, you can swap it to your city defense formation and like have something for defending your city. Now, let me jump in game and show you what I mean. All right, so there's a bunch of cool new stuff that landed in this update. And like, actually, this is possibly the best 6 months of Rise of Kingdoms updates we've ever had, culminating in what we got here, okay? And there's honestly so much to talk about. I mean, obviously, you can go scroll down and you can see that, like, King Arthur is in-game now, which is pretty awesome. Arthur Pendragon here for recruiting. Can we get the new commanders from gold keys? I would assume probably not yet, but let's just go to the reward list. We go to the golden chests. So he's not in there yet. We'll get them eventually. Save your gold keys for now, even your silver keys if you care about the epic, if you're low on gold keys, but whatever, we'll get there, right? But the thing I really wanted to emphasize here is the armament conversions, okay? And depending on how many legendary armaments you have gotten, you can head on over to your achievements. If you haven't already, you go to this category that this one, misclick the other one, and you can see I've already claimed them all the way down here. But it's basically the number of legendary armaments you've obtained gives you these conversion stones. There's going to be other ways to get them as well. There's also a bundle that's in game for these. And this is crucial. I'm going to make a separate video about this because I think it really kind of deserves its own topic. But you should give your entire armament collection a revisit. And I have, for a very, 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 very long time, been a huge advocate of like hoarding on to things that might eventually be good, because getting them is really difficult and you just never know. The value of getting rid of these things is so low compared to the potential value of, you know, getting something from them later. And boy, do I feel rewarded. So anyways, being able to swap armaments is really, really cool. Not only for some of those reasons I was describing earlier, where there's like situations where you won, but you lost. But another one of those big situations that we need to talk about is for city defense. And specifically, if you get an armament that had like really high stat rolls, but they're rainbow, like different troop types, okay? And the reason that this is so cool now is that if you go to the Codex, oh my God, is the city defense formation absolutely insane, okay? Now, the common inscriptions are not insane. The legendary inscriptions will blow your mind. And even the rare inscriptions are, in my opinion, many tiers of power level higher than the inscriptions for other formations. Why am I saying that? Well, here's Vigilant. 6% boost to counterattack damage. Bro, what happens, okay, when people get in trouble is their city is getting swarmed? And I've always said, it's not really a question of whether or not a committed enemy can zero you. It's a question of how much damage you do on your way down. And at the legendary tier, 15% counterattack. Bro, that is busted. That is so much counterattack. Remember, this formation makes it so that every one of your stats applies to all troop types, okay? So this is a big deal. When garrisoned in your city, user-specific attribute bonuses or unit-specific attribute bonuses, attack, defense, health, from the armaments will apply to all unit types. So this is massive. So even if you're like, oh, all my formations are fine, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is a new one. It just landed. And as far as I can tell, you probably want to have one of these for the situation where maybe you are getting rallied, right? Because this, okay, you might say, well, Chisgule, against a rally, this doesn't do much for me. And you're right. Against a rally specifically, this is not doing as much for you. Against a double rally, it's doing a little more. But you are right. Let's look at the next one. Resolute. Wielder's troop gains 5% skill damage resistance, smite damage resistance, combo attack damage resistance. Bro, insane. And if you go to fortified, it's 12.5%. Wow. Now you have to be garrisoning your city, but wow. Okay, and then the Matador Bandera. We've got precautious. While garrisoning your city and surrounded. So this is kind of an interesting one, because like maybe you won't be surrounded, right? But let's say you are. The wielder's troop takes less damage. Damage reduction is 2% times the number of surrounding troops up to 4 troops. So you could take 8% less damage while getting surrounded. Or choke point, okay, 20% less damage while surrounded. Bro, insane. Insane. Okay, and finally, Ironsides. Wielder's troop gains 3% damage resistance. That's just amazing. 3% damage resistance when garrisoning your city. Steelheart is just straight up 7% damage resistance. So why am I showing you all this, right? Because doing swaps is like actually just one of the coolest things that they've added to the collection aspect of armaments by such a long shot. It's nuts. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of stuff in a separate video, making a really powerful echelon formation has been my game plan. I still need to max Philip, which maybe I'm going to do during the swap event. Maybe. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I can't decide if I'm maxing, CY. Okay. I don't know if I need CY. But I might max CY from that event, the swap event, and then, just spin the wheel a bit more for Philip and then use gold heads. I haven't decided. How's my gold head situation looking? 1,336 is not bad. But, we might get another combo, a Cav commander, and I want to be ready for that for sure. But, just to give you a taste of the swapping goodness here is that, I've been pulling for arch formation. Which, yeah, that's cool and all, but I have this really strangely strong arch setup on commanders that really don't care about arch at all, right? Not really. So I'm going to be taking this armament and moving it on to Huo because it's got a boost to skill damage, which is pretty legit. All right. I'm going to take this armament and look at this. Bellicose. Whenever you launch a basic attack, 10% chance to gain 5% bonus to damage dealt. That sounds really good with combo, doesn't it? As does Onslaught. Normal attack boost enhances combo damage. Right? Right? And then, bro, I'm just so... It's hype. Okay, it's hype. Video to follow on that. Is there anything else that I really want to show you? Big shout out to Bear's Revenge. He's been sending me messages all morning with some of the cool stuff in here. Let's see here. Nature's Gift now does level 8. Kingdom 2 has the Tavern event. Let's just go look at it real quick. Let me show you the Tavern event. Let's go to Kingdom 2. One of my multiple Kingdom 2 accounts. So cool, man. All right. We're going to pull this up. And let's see here. The event. Voila. I haven't been zeroed, have I? No, we're chilling. We're chilling. Shout out Kingdom 2. Appreciate you. Claim commanders. Here we go. Tavern commanders. Log in daily to claim. Belisarius. Yoink. So what do we got here? 13. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guaranteed legendary commanders. Look at all this. So you get all the epic commanders over the course of... They even give you City Keeper. What's not to love? Oh wow. Oh, wow. Over the course, look at this. 42 days. That is the magic number, isn't it? That 42 days, that is the magic number. Rewards preview, legendary. Look at that. Every single one of these guys. What about the new guy? There's the new girl. What about the new guy? Am I just blind? Stream blind? Why is he not in here? Kind of weird. The elites, the advanced. All right, well, whatever. That's still pretty cool. If you're a newer player to the game, how cool is this? That's a lot of legendary commander sculptures just for showing up. that thing you already were doing literally every day. I pull up the rules here in case people want to see it, but it's not a lot of rules here, right? If you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, consider subscribing. I'm going to do ridiculous things with formations later today, make a vid about that. I think that's going to be a pretty cool one. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies, and leave a comment down below with anything else about, formations and, commander swaps, any cool insights. I am just very happy with the direction of the game right now. This is really good.